So, welcome. Here we are. It's Thursday, the 11th of June, and we've had another incredible week in dentistry. Dentists have begun to come back. So, Sue, here we are, the two wise birds. How do you think we should spend the time today?
I think that's a really good question. Lots of people are watching these videos now. I've had lots of feedback about them, which is
Brilliant.
really good. We're going to keep them short so we get lots of practical tips out there, sharing the sorts of questions and answers we've been having with people this week. So, Jane, what's the best question you've had this week from people?
Well, I've had lots of questions this week about how to organise their appointment book. So, obviously, with AGPs, non-AGPs, fallow time and stuff like that, people have been asking how do they organise their appointment book? And obviously I'm very happy to help, and I do need to get to know the practices to give them the precise help that they need. However, there are some things that I think are universal. And one of the key things I believe is universal when we're planning our appointment books is beginning of the day meetings and end of the day reflections. Now, we've often talked about huddles, and I think these need to be a little bit more substantial than a quick huddle. But we do need to get together as our team at the beginning of the day just to be saying, well, what have we got coming in? How are we going to make this work? Reminding ourselves what had happened the previous day. What can we learn from it? And again, at the end of every session, and I know people are going to be tired and people are going to want to go home, but I also think that comes down to our diary organisation. It is really useful and probably essential to build in an end of the day debrief so that we can evaluate the day, learn from it and move forward. So I've got a little word which I use with my clients, which is called track. You need to track your progress. So T is about our target. What did we intend to happen for the day? R, the results. So this is about what happened. And then the A is about what actually happened. No judgment, just pure reflection. Who was in which place at what time? Who was wearing what? Where did we put stuff? So this is where we get the chance to say, well, I noticed that you touched your face, or I noticed that didn't happen, or this did happen. And it's absolutely important that the team, no judgment, but we do specify what actually happened. So this is, if we're thinking about chunk sizes, the results is about big chunk stuff. What happened? What's the overall results? And the A is breaking it down into small details. What are those little links in the chain that we can notice, those links? Which ones are really intact and which ones are strong? Which ones were weak and which ones broke? And then moving on to the C, what are we going to change? So tomorrow, what we're going to do differently? And the K is about what we're going to keep. So I think it's really important that we track, know our target, our results, what actually happened, what we're going to change, what we're going to keep at the end of each day, but then moving forward to the next day to remind ourselves. So I think that is really, really important. What about you?
Do you know, I'm so glad you said that because I've been thinking about this as well. And I approach these things in a slightly different way because, I help individuals who run into trouble and I help teams to avoid trouble as well. And this links with what you're saying because one of the things I've been looking at is the effect of human factors when we're back at work, and in particular when we're working in a different way. And when I'm thinking about human factors, I'm thinking about the effect of teamwork and tasks and equipment and workplace, all those sorts of things. So what is it at the moment? What's our challenge? Working in unfamiliar kit.
Absolutely.
By Jove. Unfamiliar ways of working. We're trying to do things differently and have workarounds to best help our patients. Everybody's saying, do you know what? At the end of the session, I'm hot.
Absolutely.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm tired. I think something. And they're anxious as well. And there's all sorts of stuff going on, and all these sorts of stuff really increase the risk of mishaps and things going wrong. The pinch point for me at the moment is the end of the session, taking off PPE.
Yeah.
This is the time we really need to take care and look after each other. Even if you think you know exactly what you're doing, I'd say get a protocol and still follow it, and maybe have somebody watching you to make sure it all goes okay as well.
And I think this is really...
all these human factors coming into play.
Absolutely.
And increasing the risk of a mishap. Yeah.
And
I think that's important.
And I think what you are calling the human factors is what I'm calling the A in track, is that we're having the courage, the vulnerability, the confidence in our team to actually say, well, this is what's really happened. So if there are errors that are happening when we're taking off potentially contaminated PPE, what actually happened? Where has that chain broken, and how do we need to do it differently? And and making sure that we're staying hydrated and looking after one another. So in the hospitals, they are routinely having a buddy to watch somebody putting on and taking off their PPE. Do we have team members that we can do that? And if we do, they need to have the confidence to be able to say. So if you've got maybe a trainee nurse who's acting as the buddy, they need to be empowered to say to the principal, actually, you didn't do that right.
That's absolutely right, because it's not about blame. It's not about catching somebody out and scoring points. It's about taking care of each other and learning, because chances are if one person's got something a little bit wrong, other people will slip into that as well. So it's really important. And people are going to be tweaking their protocols. I've seen people writing about it already and sharing what works. And that's really helpful, and we're good at that in dentistry. What we get a bit scared of in dentistry is sharing things that haven't worked and near misses.
Absolutely.
Because we've got that culture of fear, haven't we?
Absolutely.
We're scared of somebody telling the GDC.
I know, and I think it's really interesting if we look at the airlines. My goodness me. If there's an industry that's safe, it is airlines. I get that at the moment with COVID and recirculation of air, that's something completely different, but we can be certain that they are looking at it. But the airlines philosophy has always been, and again, I'm going to use that phrase, non-judgmental, has been looking at near misses, sharing them and saying, how do we make sure that we don't have that near miss again? But more importantly, how do we make sure that it doesn't get worse? Using that Swiss cheese management of potential accidents.
That's absolutely right. And of course, the difference between them and us is they have anonymised reporting, so anybody can tell anything. So what I was thinking is, if people want to share any negative information and near misses, they could share it with us anonymously.
Absolutely.
And we'll share it with the profession. We're very happy to do that. We're very happy to be the conduit for that.
Yeah.
So maybe we can have a think about that. And we'll mention that again at the end. Did you want to mention your ideas about fallow time as well? Because I know there's a lot of frustration about that at the moment.
Yeah, fallow time, goodness me, isn't it? Everybody's trying to cut it down. And I get that, because it's potentially dead time. And as principals, I can understand that principals are frustrated because they're not seeing patients, there's not the income, but also frustration if they appear to be seeing people sitting around doing nothing, drinking cups of coffee. So I think there is a question, and again, this can be discussed in the meetings that we're having at the beginning and at the end of the day, is how do we make this fallow time constructive? Wearing this full PPE, we are going to get tired.
Yeah.
We are going to get hot. We are going to get disorientated and frustrated. So I think it's going to be really important that part of that fallow time, everybody's given a chance just to download, relax, chill, Maybe they need to go off and do their own little meditation or whatever. They just need to come back to themselves, be grounded, we often say. And then for the rest of the time, what do? For some people, they will still be writing their notes. But we know that there are some patients that are banging on windows to say, I want my appointment, I want my appointment. We've also got other people that are being contacted and being told, no, I don't want my appointment. So my curiosity is around individual practices. How can they be using this time to build relationships with the patients, to be talking about what the patient's expectations are, what their wants, needs, preferences are, so that when they're coming in and they're doing their examination, everybody knows what they want.
And I think that's a hugely valuable use of time. I was assuming that patients would have picked up on this information now, and they haven't all. We can't assume that everybody watches the news, reads the newspapers, picks up all the messages we're putting out. So it's getting those messages out in different ways. And how would it be if a patient that's been in and had a procedure and was happy with it could later have a Zoom chat and give a little video chat about it that they could share and reassure other patients?
Absolutely.
It's one thing us saying it, isn't it? It's another thing. Mrs. Smith from the bread shop saying, yeah, actually I went in and it was fine, don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. So patient testimonials, patient videos, guides around the practice, showing people what's involved and showing the patients how we have got their best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And why it's different.
For their safety. You know, there's a reason why we're doing something, and it isn't anything to be worried about coming into the practice. I think that's a plus. There's one other thing I'd like people to think about doing when they've got fallow time as well, is to have a look at some of the patient records, see if they've missed anything in the past, anything that they've been monitoring, supposed to take radiographs, that sort of thing, so they can pick up on it next time when the patients come in. We all miss things when we're busy. We've just got that little bit of time to catch up on things now. So if we have missed something, we can explain it to the patient next time and easily catch up on it and close that gap.
So what about audits? I mean, do you think that this might be a good time to do things like examination audits?
I think it could well be. I think it depends how long this fallow time is going to be, but it's a productive way of using it. And I think that's what dentists and practice owners are both going to be looking at. And it's things we've never really had time to do properly before in most practices because we've been on the hamster wheel, haven't we? So we wouldn't want this downtime, but we can use it positively, so I think that's really helpful. Yeah. So we've got some really good tips for people today. And don't forget about sharing any of these near misses with us anonymously if you'd like to share them with the profession.
Yeah, so if anybody has had something which has not gone as it should have done and they want other people to know about it, they can message myself, Jana IODB, or message Sue. What's your email address, Sue?
Yeah, sue@dentallegalconsultant.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And feedback, let us know how you're implementing our ideas, and we'll see you again next week. So, take care.
Take care. Have a good week, guys.
Have a great week. Bye.